Welcome back. T-minus 1 week until Halloween, and we're helping you get into the spooky holiday spirit. A ghost hunter is going to discuss the haunted history of Louisiana's antebellum plantations at the Jefferson Parish Library next week. We are going to talk now with David LaVille, who is giving us a sneak peek. Good morning.
Hey.
All right, so you are actually going to be talking at the East Bank Regional Library there in Metairie the day before Halloween, so perfect spooky season time. But you are also the co-founder of the New Orleans Ghost Hunters.
That is correct.
Tell me about that group.
Well, we perform investigations at properties throughout New Orleans. And I really don't like the moniker ghost hunter because we don't go into a location actually trying to find ghosts. We just try to record, document anomalous activity and then rule out, what it could be. A lot of times it's environmental, sometimes it's psychological. Only when we rule out every possibility do we say something is truly paranormal.
Okay, so is there any, history? I imagine there's a lot of history involved when you are focusing on something with the paranormal.
Yeah, I like the history aspect because you kind of go back in history when you do detect something. You're kind of interacting with the past history.
Yeah, very interesting. One thing that you're going to focus on in this talk at the East Bank Regional Library is the plantations, these antebellum plantations, many of which, you may be familiar with the myrtles, many of which are haunted.
Right, they have haunted stories behind them.
And tell us some of those stories that we may or may not be familiar with.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is the Peto House was actually a plantation at one time. And their hauntings is a little bit different. It's aromatic in nature. It's a lot of smells.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people claim they smell strong sense of potpourri and stuff.
When there's none around.
Correct. Nottoway Plantation, which just burned down, unfortunately. There's a lady in black who's often seen around the house. My talk is going to really focus around some of the more prominent, well-known plantation homes around, southern Louisiana.
Sure. What are some of those? Like, would the Myrtles be considered?
The Myrtles.
I know they're in St. Francisville, right?
The Myrtles, St. Francisville. Like I said, the Peto House, Nottoway Plantation, Destrehan Plantation, Ormond Plantation. They all have legacies of hauntings.
Well, because you're in these circles, nationally, I know the Myrtles gets mentioned quite a bit. But are there more haunted places than New Orleans, or is New Orleans pretty haunted?
It's pretty haunted. It's kind of across the country. Every historic place has ghost stories, but New Orleans and Louisiana especially has a little more ghost stories than most other places. Probably because of the history behind a lot of things.
Now, I know you do a lot of work with your team there, kind of ruling out anything else it could be before you say, yes, there might be paranormal activity.
Right.
Have you personally had any experiences with paranormal activity?
Yes, growing up, I had paranormal experiences at a house my parents built in Metairie. So it kind of led me to forming the New Orleans Ghost Hunters. And it was to capture evidence to validate experiences that I had. To capture evidence and say, yes, you really did.
They built.
They built a house in Metairie.
There was something with the land?
Right near East Jefferson Hospital. And we started experiencing stuff, and I had no explanation for it. So, like I was saying, my purpose was to maybe capture evidence to say, yes, what you saw or experience was true, or not capture anything at all and say, yeah, it was probably your imagination. But very first investigation, we got a little girl talking to us. So yeah, there's something out there. They got something in the paranormal realm. It's
interesting. So folks are going to want to hear a lot more about this.
Yes.
We mentioned that next Thursday they can come and hear you speak about some of these experiences and research that you've done. What time should they show up at the library?
I believe it starts at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And they usually give me to about 8:30, and then they kind of start ushering us out. So I actually started researching. I spent 2 months, and I have 14 plantations. So
talk about.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get to at least half of them. And then the last half, what I do, or the last half hour, what I do is a question and answer section where people like to ask me about how we do things, some of the things we experienced.
Sure. So. If anybody's had the experience and wants you to come investigate or wants to join the New Orleans Ghost Hunters, how can they do that?
They can go to our Facebook page, which is New Orleans Ghost Hunters, or our website, which is www.neworleansghosthunters.com.
Very cool. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday for the talk at the East Bank Regional Library there in Metairie. Thanks so much. All right, well, you can celebrate